Hey everybody, welcome. I see what you're saying, Stacy, but I'm so glad that you popped in here today. Just a second, it's not, my chat isn't coming up on my phone. I'm gonna get that back up. I hope you guys are all doing well. Here we go. Hi Peg, welcome. Hi Paula. Got a few of you rolling in here today on this fabulous Tuesday. We're making some good headway with the Mystic Council here, and I'm really excited to have you all. I think everything's up and running, that you can hear me okay. Give me a thumbs up if it's all going good. Loretta, welcome. So glad you're looking forward to part 3. Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a new second webcam. This was like, I got this one and it's this area right here. Oh, well, it's the upper cam to the left. And I think I'm going to get a new one because obviously it's blowing out the whites. And it also doesn't do as great of a job on my palette when I have my full color up here. So I'll be getting a new one later, but it is kind of nice to be able to have multiple views when I'm going live. So I'm glad you guys, hi Cameron, are rolling in here. Luis, good morning. Hello, I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, Peg, that is a cool heart emoji. You know, I found out I can actually make these like emotes and get these custom things made just for my channel. So I'm going to look into that because I think that would be a lot of fun. Deanna, welcome. Awesome. I'm really excited. So I'll get started. I'll start off with some news, and then once people are in here and they get rolling, then I'll get started. I'll tell you where I'm at, where I'm going, that type of stuff, and that'll let people kind of get in here and everything. So I did some work, if you can't tell, over the weekend on the council. I'm going to blow it up a bit so you can see I worked a lot on the bear and the fur. The fur was a ton of fun, and I will show you a demo of how I did the fur up close. I think that'll be a lot of fun. And I'll have a lot of fur in the fox to do. The stag's going to be pretty smooth. It's not going to have as dramatic of fur like here. But I also put in the circle behind and got the rest of this background in and the ground around here. That takes a lot of time, and I just didn't want to sit here and have you guys watching me do the same thing over and over again. So I thought that was a good call. And it'll also allow us to move through the piece because I got to get this done because it's for my brother's birthday. So his birthday's on the 19th and I'm going out of town that weekend to give it to him. So I might have to do a little bit of work on my own, but I'm hoping that we can get through quite a bit of this today and Thursday to where you can see the end of it. So that would be really fun. Yeah, time crunch, no kidding. So looks like Deanna's in here. We got Stacy, Chrisella, welcome. I'm Debbie and Ruskin. Hi, I think this is your new first time in chat. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for saying hi, all the way from Florida. Thank you, Deanna. So I'm going to give you guys a little close-up of the fur, and I'm going to show you what I did. I can demo a little spot of it before we get really in there. Okay, so the fur is a lot of fun, and I would say the biggest thing with the fur is I ended up doing a lot more of, oh, I thought I had my tool out already and ready. I guess I got distracted. Let me get my little, I got some new supplies that I'm going to talk about today too. Just getting my wand ready, my Sofft Tool wand. And the oval one's my favorite right now. And the fur is so much fun, and it's really forgiving. I basically ended up pulling and pushing. So like where that dark is, I can push it back and pull it forward with like the kneaded eraser. And then you go on the white spots to pull it forward. I can also, I'm using a pen eraser, the Mono Zero that I really love. And that can put in these patterns of fur too. But you don't want to get where you're so tight and it gets really where it's a lot. So I ended up just going back and forward with putting black on the edge here and pushing this back in the dark spots. I have to get my wand kind of primed here. So it was a lot of fun just going back and forth. And then also I can use these, the thicker eraser to pull bigger pieces out. And I have a chat about the bigger erasers today. I have these over here. Let me grab them. I have a smaller one I can use, but you can pull out little chunks that way on the highlight. So you're always going on where it's light and then you're trying to push back where it's dark. And you can go back and forth with that, and it's really amazing what it can do. And then you can take your kneaded eraser, like I was sharing with you guys, and shape it. And this one does the overall values. So you can take that kneaded eraser and you can get it shaped where it's curved at the back and then pull up some of those little sections as a whole, or even this whole area, and bring up the light around. So it's a lot of fun. I did spend probably, I don't know, maybe an hour or so on just the fur. And you can just go back and forth and back and forth. So, okay, Luis has a question. Dawn, what charcoal pencil did you use? I tried the technique, but my Create Color charcoal pencil just rubbed off when I started the pan. And I was on the same paper. Oh, that's really good to know. I used the General's charcoal pencil. I like them in medium. This one's a soft, but I usually use the medium. And all these are down. I think I put this down in description. I'll make sure it says General's, and it's the soft, or you can, I usually use the medium, but I'm almost out of my medium, so I need to order some more. That's on this little stick. Yeah, and sometimes not all charcoal's made the same, unfortunately. I mean, you would think it is, it's just burnt wood. But yeah, so I can keep going and playing with these fur pieces and bringing them forward and pushing them back with my tools. Oh, I did have my other tool ready. I just didn't see it. I also got a new pan. So I got a solid, I put a sticker on the back so it doesn't move. A solid new black PanPastel, because my pastel was really getting worn and it was hard to put a big tool in it like my rectangle, because see, you don't get the full coverage because I've used it so much. I also ordered more of my ovals because I love the ovals. So these are a lot bigger. I can use them for my smaller tools just fine. But yeah, so I got a bigger pan for that. So it looks like right here I have a little bit of a, I don't know, can you see that? Yeah, see that line right there? That's a little bit much. So I'm gonna tone that down. I don't know why it got so strong there. There. See how easy it is to tone something down and bring it up? So right here around the this antler, I don't want to do too much because I don't know how it's going to go yet. And I have to kind of work towards that. So I'm going to get this framed up because I'm going to start working on the stag here. And I'm just going to get, I think I'm going to get these three in for their color. So I can, I'm just going to get the overall gray, medium, you know, the mid-tone in there, because we work off the value scale, and the mid-tone is number 5 is kind of where I like to start out as. Let's see what other questions we might have and say hi to the other people that have been rolling in here. Yes, and you know, most of you guys are here. I love the black kneaded eraser. It's my favorite. My favorite are the Faber-Castell ones. The Vanish eraser is awesome, and I was working with Merry Artist, the art supplies shop, where you can get 10% off by using coupon code DawnVS. Links in below. But I'm working with them. It's so much fun working with this local art store, and they are really friendly and super happy to be accommodating. And I told them that I ordered this practice eraser because I thought it would be the same as the vanish erasers that I love. Now I get these from Jerry's Artorama, but I'm like, you know, there has to be some more white erasers that if you guys are doing an order, I could get added on at the Merry Artist. They were so nice, you guys, because my problem with this practice eraser is when I erase with it, it leaves like a residue and it ghosts when my PanPastel goes over it, and I didn't notice it right away. So all of a sudden I'm like, what's going on? And it has a little bit too much coating of oil or whatever. So unfortunately, I'm not as much of a fan of that one. So I asked them to send me I asked them to send me these two. And I was like, I want to try these guys out. But they sent me all of these. I was so excited. I've never been excited over erasers. So I got, let me see here. And I've tested some of them out already, you know, pretty good. I got the Sumo Grip, this Faber-Castell art eraser, a high polymer eraser from Pentel. I got a interesting sand eraser from Mono by Tombow. Now this is for ink, so I tried that. It doesn't work, so that one's out already, but it's kind of cool. It is for ink. I've never used that. And then I got this Prismacolor Magic Rub, and I got this Stadler. I think that might be Statler. I don't know how to pronounce that. The Mars plastic eraser. So the good news is all of them work really, really well, as much as the white eraser that I am using with the Vanish ones. But my favorites were surprisingly this Faber-Castell art eraser. So I'm going to actually show you a couple of these on the body real quick. And I'm right here, so I got to get this down anyway. And I was just kind of shocked at how well they all work. So I hope you don't mind a little eraser demo. I mean, why not, right? I got to get all this color in anyway. And I actually have my oval tool. I bought a new one of that so I could like really get in here. And that's really fast coverage, so we don't have to sit here all day and watch me put the black in. Let me make sure there wasn't another question here real quick. Thank you, Deanna. Thank you, Temple. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome. Adding up to your 7,500 hours. Yeah, you know, I am adding it up. I've got over 7,500 hours in pastel. If I average, I just did an average for a little over 6 years of working with the medium. But you guys have been busy chatting already. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, they're really being great. Magic Rub's your favorite, not art related. Okay. Dawn, I did the owl with you before, and it's one of my favorite. Great teacher, new skill. Well, thank you, Debbie. Okay, demo. So we're doing it real quick. I'm caught up. So I got this in, and you can see how the charcoal pencil does not go anywhere because I've used it as a support. Pencil stays too, but pencil has a shine to it. So that's why I'm not going to use the pencil. It does knock down the charcoal, so I'll have to put that in his eyes and stuff again, but I'm okay with that. So I'm just trying to make this around a 5 or a 4 on the value scale over here. And I'll blow it up a little bit soon once I get some coverage in here and we can see the erasers. So I'm gonna blow this one up so we could do this little test thing real quick. Okay, we'll just go right there. Now, this one was my favorite. because it really lifted this up really easy, like when I do a line. So I'm going to do all my lines like that. And you'll see I'm pushing about the same. And I like to cut them up. So I like to cut them up, make shapes out of them. So you want it to lift your PanPastel. And this was the Faber-Castell art eraser. And then this is the Sumo grip. I don't know who this one's. This is by Sakura. And this one did about the same. Really nice lift on it. Really nice lift. Now I have my Magic Rub by Prismacolor. Now you can see how it doesn't lift as high, as easy. I'm making sure I'm getting a fresh spot. I have my Stadler. I don't know, but you guys can read it. So that pulls that. This, I'm really surprised. And this is my high polymer eraser. It's by Pentel. I'm getting a fresh edge here. And that one wasn't bad. Between, you know, I almost think it's right up there, you know, close. And then if I use my, this is the Jerry's Artorama one, that the Vanish one. And if I use that, there you go. So you can see that actually these two, was that the one I used? Oh crap. I think I used this one last. Let me check. Yeah. So this high polymer eraser from Pentel is probably the closest to the Jerry's Artorama Vanish one. I wanted to get something that was easier to access, that Mary Artist carried. So I'll probably cut this one up, have some fun with it. But surprisingly, I didn't even ask for them to send me these. I really like these. Like, look at how much it pulls up so easy consistently. Like, they're both about the same. And they also say on the side that it says dust rolls together, comfort edge for added ease when erasing, because we really need that. Extra soft for effective clean erasing, and black leaded pencils. So I think I am going to put these guys in my stack as the winners, and I'm going to play with these the most. I was surprised. So that was a good win. I mean, I guess I would have lucked out knowing that this one would work. You know, that one pulls really nice. This one's not bad at all. You know what, I think that you just don't, yeah, you still get that sediment. It comes off. So anyways, now I'm just really excited about it. So even if I went over that, you can see how much more that pulls up. So I want it to pull up. That's the whole point. This sanded one is different. It's for ink. It's not really, it actually would tear up the paper if I put it on there. It's pretty hard. We don't want hard. So, okay, let's see. Oh, look at you guys. I have a box of the HP Pentel ones. I might have the FC black one somewhere. Awesome. Cool. Well, I'm excited we did an eraser thing. Now watch how easy, well, I'm hoping it's probably going to take a little work to get these lines gone, but I'm going to kind of dap up in here in the dark. And then, oh look, that's not bad at all. So now you're actually getting a test in the ghosting if it's going to ghost real bad, if there was extra product on it. I'm actually getting a little bit up top here from where I started. Let's see what happens when I go and try to erase it with this one. This is good stuff to play with, because you don't know until you're using them. So that came off. I got a little bit of a line there and there. I think I went over some, and I don't know if it was this eraser I did it with, or which eraser did that. So I'd have to do some playing on that. Watch the playback. I'll have to watch the playback. But you can see how now it's all gone. And now I have some new erasers to play with that I'm excited about. So I'm going to have them update my little favorite art supply page, which I have there. I think I put that in the link below too. I love being able to have all my favorite art supplies in one spot. And I have all the supplies listed for this. So I'm going to go and bring in the fox. I got to zoom back out here. This is a small studio. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm really excited because this my PanPastel is now full coverage. Oh, I'm blurry. So it's full coverage now. I have that full, and it's going to cover this whole tool, so I can really get in there. Looks like I got something on the paper right there that's not taking the pastel. I'll have to do some research on that. Let me just erase with one of my trusty new erasers and see what that is. Sometimes it's just a little bit of something, I don't know. Oh, it looks like I got it to go down a little bit. So I'll just like play with that area and see. Okay, so now that I got I got to do the owl. I might do the owl with my wand because the wand, it's a little gentler. Now you're all going to be going eraser shopping. Oh man. Yeah, right? I know. Yeah, Faber-Castell for the win. I agree. I also like that sumo one. I like the sumo grip. So I'm just going to play with those for a while, but I really like knowing that this one's really comparable to that Jerry's Artorama one, the high polymer one. The one cool thing was on the back of this, no harmful phthalate. So that might be good. Let's see. Oh yeah, now it's a gray fox. Yeah, they're not going to be white. I'm going to bring them all up from like their values of their colors. Yeah, I don't know which one I'm going to necessarily go. Oh, the Sumo Temple shopping. The Sumo comes in a jumbo. Yeah, this is a smaller one. Well, we all love art supplies, and I have no problem enabling all of you. Okay, so I have this. I'm going to knock it off a little bit on the side, and then I'm going to start bringing the values in on this. And I know the bottom's going to be darker, so I could even start down there. And I'm going to have to, bring a lot of this back up. I know the face is going to be a little lighter. So I'm being gentle with the owl, not as bold. He's got a lot more little details in there. And so now that I have all of them, basically hanging out around here for my mid-tone. I know I'm going to have pastel on my face today, guys. I just know it. I'm itchy and I don't... I should probably wear my hair back, but yeah. So it is going to be hanging out and around this area. Oh, I love that. Good. I'm worldwide. I never even thought of that. We got to have options. You're so right. That's a really good point, Temple. Sometimes I forget, and that's a great reminder. Plus, you can cut them up, Stacy, so even if they're jumbos, you can cut them up into all different shapes and sizes. That is this little magical gem that I love, is that I cut them all up, you guys. I cut them into different shapes, and then I can make mark making with them, and I like to have that edge where I can, put lines on, see? Because I've cut that up. Okay. Awesome. I'm drooling a bit of art supplies. All the white is gone now in the 3 elders. Gah. Well, at least makes this other camera better too, because it cannot handle that white. Okay. I should have done a poll of which one you guys wanted me to start with. I was thinking of doing this one because it's connected with the bird up here and just move down. Maybe I leave the fox for the grand finale or the owl. I don't know. We'll just see how I feel today. Okay, so I have to make a decision. Yeah, I can see that. That's a great idea, Temple. We can customize the erasers, and I think that's a huge plus. So what I'm going to do is I'll just take these 3 and I'll just start putting a little bit of my darks in. So now I have my midtones, and we're going to put the shadows in next. And following these steps really helps with this magical process. So I'm thinking, you know, of where it's the darkest, like underneath here. We want to push, we're pushing and pulling. So all of the, oh, I froze up here on this one. I don't know if I'm froze on all of you guys, so let me check here. Oh, did we get a new, oh, Jennifer, hi. She's loving the value lessons. I nearly bought the black PanPastel today. I'll probably do it next time I'm out. Well, good, Jennifer. I'm glad you're here today. Welcome. Okay, so we're going to go and we're going to do the shadows up here. I think my pastel is all caught up, so I'm good. I mean, my chat. It was being a little weird. Okay, so I'm going to go in and now, like, areas where, you know, the owl's going to sit because our light's up here and it's also coming in down here. I'm doing a little combo lighting because I'm lighting the actual piece and I'm also thinking that the moon's here. So I've left this a little glowy. I know it's, you can see it on this other camera over here. This area I've left a little glowy. And so I'm just going to start putting in darks where things are sitting and where they'll be a little darker. I guess I was starting down here. I guess I'm excited to do the owl, but so this whole leg's going to be pushed back because that one's farther back. And then we want to think of things on planes. So if we're going darker, it's going to put it on a farther away plane. And then if the lighter we go, it's going to bring it closer to us. So when you're pushing and pulling, you're like, oh, well, why am I making that decision? You're making it because you're trying to put them on the right planes. Because it was all white, and now we're making choices. So we had it at the mid-tones, and now we're going, okay, well, what do I want to push back and what do I want to pull forward? And so that's what we're kind of doing a little dance with that right now. So this leg is going to be a little bit darker, but maybe not as dark as the one back there. And I could even take one of my larger tools and do some larger coverage here. And these are great because you can use the edges too and get like those values in, because we're just trying to get our shadow values in. So you can see how I've just made that, the stomach get a little bit of a 3D shape there. And right behind this leg. And so at this stage, my whole goal is to get the shading and the values of what the actual animal are going to be, and then I can put in details and bring in fur and do all that along the way. Ooh, do we have a birthday going on? Oh, Laura, tomorrow's the big 59. Oh, good for you. Happy early birthday. That's great. Happy birthday. Woo, woo, woo. Well, that reminds me, you guys, today is the date for me being 4 months on YouTube. Lots of good things happening this week. So this chest, I want to get this darker right here. But I know that fox face right there, I'm going to be pulling that forward. So you can use the edges of this, and it's quite nice. Because we want to push that chest back. So you're going to see how that's going to happen here. Thank you, Loretta. Oh, wonderful, Jennifer. I'm glad. Okay, so it's kind of a little bit tricky right here, but I want to get this a little darker. I might have to pull out this antler separately because this stag is behind the bear. So I really want to accent that a little bit, and I have to work on that with light here. So I'm pushing it back on the plane because it's going to be behind the bear. And I can go in and touch my edges up later too. So I'll probably play with that and maybe bring that in a little bit. It's a little dramatic, but hey, we got to start with some drama to get it in there. And then I think I'm going to put a little shadow right on that leg too up here, just where this hits, and then I can bring it up. And see, I'll still have some, be able to push this back even more. And then I can So we're doing a lot of pre-paving, like we're preparing for the fun stuff. I think that really works. That's part of the process in almost anything I do personally. I have to be patient with building that up. And you want to leave some area of here and some area of there. You don't want to go all the way because then you have nothing to work with. So I'm going to put a little bit into these ears right here. That's going to allow me to put some fur in there. I got the antler bouncing off right there. Oh, I might be, yeah, I want to make sure I don't get out of frame. And then I can put some of the darks I have in the face here. Oh, whoa! Hey, Stacy, thank you. Thank you so much. That's so, the fox is so cute. Oh, Francine's here too. Thank you, Stacy, for the super chat. Chai tea. I love chai tea. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. You're awesome. Francine's in the house. Oh, DVS peeps, pipes. Hey, you know, autocorrect can be a bear. It's awful. It's ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Oh, we thought it was French. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, happy birthday to Laura too. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Love the super chat. Yeah, I think he's over in his bed, crashed out. He finally settled down because he doesn't like all my little equipment that I move around to get ready for these lives. He gets a little frustrated with all that. So he's finally settled down. So thank you for asking. I appreciate that. I'm going to go a little darker on some of these spots here. And the rest is going to be pretty much fur that I'm bringing in. And then I'm going to be pulling out the whites. So the face isn't that dark. We've got all of these. The face is around this whole area up here. It's not really pushed dark. So I'm going to maybe put a little bit underneath the chin here. Jennifer, do you have a dog? Or do you have a pet? We all share our pets here and who we have. If any of you guys have a pet, I always love to know you guys have pets. We also share in our Facebook group. You feel free to share your companions. I always love to see photos. So I have this fur too. I'm gonna play with this. I wanted to make a little dramatic of like a little bearded swoops down here. So we'll see. And I have those little scallops. So I feel like I've got some basics of the face in there. I might just move to the actual fox a little bit and then up to the thing and just get the darks in. Oh, you were a cat person, but my two passed away. Now I vicariously love on others' pets. Oh, well, I'm sorry about your sweet ones passing away. That's the hardest thing about having a pet. But they sure get a hold on our hearts. I got so mad because I took Sonny in to get his teeth cleaned because he's half Yorkie and half Chihuahua. And he had some other stuff going on and they were checking it all. But I did not realize when he was getting his teeth cleaned, all this stuff, he had to do all this stuff. And I was just a wreck. And I'm like so mad that I love him so much. I'm like, I'm so mad at you. How dare you have a hold on my heart like that? Ugh. But he's all good now. He still has quite a bit of his teeth, even though he's had to have a few pulled. Aw. Yeah, they are. It's Sunny, S-U-N-N-Y. Thank you for asking. Okay, so I got that in. So now I'm going to play with this little fox here and get some of its light in here. Now, the biggest thing with foxes is getting this color underneath this shading. So this really starts training your eye to look at value in a whole different way. And I think it will really translate to your paintings when you're working. I think this whole process is not one of like, oh, well, I'm just doing black pieces, black and white, gray pieces from now on. I think it really transitions to my other work and helps me see things a little bit differently. And this is dark and their little ears. And I'm going to go a little bit closer But if I do this, you guys have to remind me if I get out of frame. So you can see the difference of Mr. Jackalope there and how much we've pulled him up. I'll just put the fox here for a little bit. I'll put his friend in there. He's got to have a friend. Oh, let's see here. Millie has been feisty lately with Mr. Red Romeo. My bad. I tripped during a walk and I'm recovering from sprains right there. Oh no, I'm so sorry. That's happened to my friend Lori. Her dog got in the way and tripped her, and she hurt her hand. I hope you heal up quickly. Oh, Dawn, I get it. I'm about to leave my horses for 2 weeks and I'm an emotional wreck. I know, it's just, it's awful. Yeah, Loretta, are you able to art? Oh, your right thumb. Are you right-handed or left? Oh, goodness. Well, I hope you heal quickly on that, because that is no fun. So I'm just putting those blacks in, the shadows of where this piece is going to be in the dark shadow colors. So we want to get our values, the shadow values in. So you want to push those back. So I'm still working on that here. It has a little almost portal right there that's going to go really far back. And then this whole area. I'm thinking his tail's actually going to be pulled brighter, and you can see that. So I'm going to actually show you how I'm going to ground the tail. So when you ground something, you want to put that dark line underneath. It doesn't have to be so perfect because you want to fade it out. And if you fade it out too much, it'll look like it's lifting off the surface there. So I'm really trying, I'll be playing with that, but you want to ground it. So see how that looks like it's sitting there? And it's actually created a little scoop around it right here. And so, it's amazing what value can do. So you just want to play with that, and shadows always dissipate. So I'm probably going to play with this spot right here and pull it out a little bit more, but we'll see. But you want your really, really darks to be just in there really tiny. So it looks like it's tucking that in. And if I wanted this tail to lift up, I would do that, but I don't. It seems like it's resting, so I'm not going to do that. I want to blend this out right here. And then I can bring some of a little bit of the shadow to make that look rounded. And this tail is the closest thing in the foreground. You know, it's really close, so I'll be playing with that. I don't want a crazy amount of tension to be brought on the tail, but it is the closest thing. Yeah. The hazards of pet ownership. So true, so true. I love this community. You guys can go and chat away, and I just love that. Okay, so I got some of the basics of the darks in there, and I'm going to go back in and get some of these ones that I've missed here. And this ear on the right is pretty dark behind there. And when I draw things up, I'll have all kinds of different references of foxes. Foxes are really hard, so I will look at several and then land on one for a reference. And then the face has got a little bit of darkness in here, but we're gonna I'm also going to have to push this a little bit where that bear is. I don't want them to look like they're, you know, melting into each other, but. And then I have in here is 2 separate legs. And then I have the little feet to ground. So I'm going to ground those. And I want this tail to look like it's going down in there. So I'm going to put a little shadow in there. A little one on the feet because it's touching against that. And I put a lot of little whimsical marks on this one, so it'll be interesting to see. I think they'll look a lot like the bear up here. You can see some of those on the other camera, but okay, you guys are just chatting away. So make sure if you guys have a question, you put question marks in front of it so I don't lose you. I'm glad you're chatting. Okay, so I got a little bit of that in. Now I'm just working up the chest because it is a little darker underneath the chest. And then right when those touch, that's going to be darker too. And they have little black socks on them. I'm going to try to put them in. I haven't really dealt with that with value. I don't want to lose their little... I have the lines for them there. There's a little portal right there too. When I say portal, I'm just saying it goes back on the farther plane. So I can bring some of this up and play around with it. I'm going to go in on its face here and start adding some of the details. And I think with the eyes, I'm going to go in with a, well, I might be able to do it pretty good here. Let me see. Use my Sofft Tool skills. I gave this fox a little bit bigger eyes because I wanted it to have big eyes. I get artistic license. I get to do what I want, right? I'm not going for realism here in the sense of that. I want to have freedom to add my own thing in there. And then the nose, that's pretty dark. So if I start using my charcoal pencil here, it's just a little different. So I'd like to try to use as much as I can with the pastel tool. And this chin should go back just a little, so I'm just going to bring it out. It's just going to barely be there. It's going to look worse before it gets better. Kind of looks like a raccoon right now. Does look like a raccoon. Yeah, we're going with it. It'll look better when we get it. If it's a raccoon slash fox, I'm open. Have that little repair right here. I don't know what to do with that. That is, I don't know if I scratched it or what. So I'm gonna have to play with that. It's like not taking any pastel, so I'm going to go a little darker than lighter. I might have to put something on it later. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. That's kind of a weird. I want this to be kind of puffed out a little bit, so okay. And then I have my antlers. And I'm just going to at least get the shadows in for them. I know those are almost out of frame, but you can see them still. I'm trying to put a little bit more of shadow in there, so when I bring them up with the tool, that they'll look a little bit more shaped and dynamic. Okay. So I'm feeling pretty good about that for what I got in for color. I feel like I lost it back here a little bit, so I'm just going to put that little portal in again. And I'm at a weird angle, so I might put this box up high for me because I'm having to bend over. I'm going to grab something real quick. I'll be right back. I am having one of those days that I need my hair out of my face and make sure I don't have any pastel on there. I had to pull it back, guys. Okay. All right, that feels a lot better. Oh, a question. Let's see here. A raccoon fox. Okay, I'm just checking chat to see what I'm missing. Question. Fox sparkly star collar. Well, I'm going to have a little, oh, like maybe put a star there. Is that what you're kind of thinking of how to fix it? Yeah, I'll see what I end up doing there. I'm going to actually try to see if I put some of the soft charcoal in there. Yeah, that might work. Yeah. I might not be able to pull it up, and it's going to be a black dot right there for right now, but we'll go with it. Okay, I'm going to do an adjustment. So I have this board, and it's propping things up so I can work at a more ergonomically correct position, or my back is going to be like, Dawn, what did you do to yourself? So self-care for the win here. Okay, and then I'll adjust some things. Okay, you're going to watch the magic of the eraser take form here in just a minute. I'm going to make this fox look... Oh, this is so much better, guys. Oh my gosh. Well, you're going to see it kind of at a wonky third thing, but at least you can kind of see it. I got so many things up here. All right. So I was working on the nose here. I just want to get those little darker nose nostril holes there in there. And I almost have to like rub the charcoal in there. It just doesn't, it's not as easy. Got everybody doing yard work today. I don't think you guys can hear it, but I'm going to widen those eyes a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go in. I guess we're doing the fox today. Guess what? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'd rather be more of a feeler too. I'm a very sensitive person. Looking foxier, thank you. Thank you, Stacy. Question, Laura. Do I by my left ear? Wow, that's out there. Oh, you're right. At least it's not like on my face. It's going to be on there a little bit. I don't think I can get it all the way off. But I do have wipes. It's like, why even put makeup on? It should just put pastel on. Okay, so I'm going to start working on the fur here with the face, and we will see how that goes. I think I got a little bit more of the antlers in. I have a feeling I'm going to have to play with these eyes a bit. Yeah, they do have different personalities. Thank you so much. Oh, you see my staghorn, Debbie. Thank you. I have two of them. That is the baby from my big one that I have. And I just love the staghorns. They are my favorite. I wish I could have more spaces for them to be in, but I have a huge one that has 3 of those on it over on my other wall. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to work with something, you know, a spot that is easier. And usually these little ears are pretty straightforward. So I'm using that pen eraser, and I'm just bringing up, you know, some of the highlights. I know I have some on this. Just bringing out a little bit of the ear. So if you're a personality who likes like meditative things in your creative process, this is definitely very meditative. And it has a lot of freedom on it. I mean, you don't have to be really that perfect. And even if I pull some of these to be really white, I can knock them back later. And I'm rotating this pen around when I'm using it. Okay, and then when you think of fur, like the same with the bear, they start going out here. So I have to start getting some movement in there to get it to even. So I put a little shadow in here to kind of go and, you know, work from. And it's going to look a little silly until I can pull out all of it too. So once you know how things are working for you, you're kind of a little bit more patient with that process part. Now the eye is always a little. I'm trying to get this shadow in here where it. This one's bigger than the other one, but that always seems to be the case. I'm okay with that. For right at the moment I am. And then the nose is the brightest right here. I'm really simplifying the fox. I'm not trying to go too crazy on the details. I'll catch up with chat here in just a minute. Oh, Luis, you got to go get your hair cut? That's sacrilege. Oh, man. I hope you have a good time and have a positive experience getting your hair cut. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Did I see a staghorn that's in your yard over 100 years old? Wow. Pastel Artist Badge of Honor. Is that when it's on my face? Thank you, Deanna. It's just practice. You can do it too. It's really practice. Lots of it. Luis, what did I miss? Well, I might have missed something with Louise. She's working on a project, but I have a hard time keeping up with chat today because it's so busy. I love that. I'm just gobsmacked that you have a staghorn that's 100 years. I watch videos on staghorns. They're amazing. Long live the mono. I totally agree. Yeah, if you don't have this mono eraser zero, it's really is a game changer. It's amazing. Really is amazing. Yeah, I'm glad you came, Luis. I'm so glad that you were here. Yeah, go get your hair done. We always feel better when we get our hair done. Okay, I think I'm caught up on chat. We have a great group of you here today. I'm so glad all of you are here. If you have a question, please don't hesitate to ask. This little guy is coming together. It will take me a little bit to feel the flow with him, but we're getting there. So I'm just hitting those really dark spots because they have where their eyes go in like that. And then I have a tendency to leave the eyes a little too bright. And I need to push them just down a little bit because I might round them out just a little bit more. All right, so I'm going to put a little highlight on the nose. This is where some magic definitely starts popping up. It's amazing how it just, everything's on planes, you guys. It's just crazy. I'm going to give this fox my hairdo here. I wanted to do these whimsical patterns in the fur. I'll have to put that shadow in right here. I'll put it back in after I get my whimsy in here. And this is just what I like to do. This is from drawing a lot. I just start realizing how much I love putting these repetitive lines in. These lines will also be around the outside. Oh, my floofing? Hey, Pam, Dawn's floofing out the fox. Woo woo! Sneaking in the last hour or so, you had to walk the dog. Well, welcome, Pam. I'm so glad you're here. You get to catch me when I'm floofing. Yep, I tested new eraser options. You're going to have to watch the beginning. I'm pretty excited about it. All right, so now that you've seen me get some of this in here, I can break up some of that fur a little bit, just a little, so it's not too perfect. We don't want anything to be too perfect. So the fox is going to take on a whole personality of his own. He might turn wise. He might, it might be a she, might have more feminine quality. I don't know. Well, I just let them kind of become who they're meant to be, you know? And so I'm going to knock down some of this because I really want to make sure its face up here is farther away. So I'm going to put some of this back a little bit. And the pattern is, that's what's so much fun about this. You get to put pattern in and then you get to push it back and pull it forward. So when you see me out of frame, I'm usually grabbing more PanPastel or I'm wiping off my tool onto my microfiber towel. So yeah, he looks like he went to the hair salon too, Temple. He's got a little bit of vavoom going on. So I can tone down some of this and put in a little bit of that darker looking fur slowly instead of too quick. And I can add some things here. A little bit of shadow. I really want to make sure that by their nose comes out, but underneath their cheeks, I want that to be brighter. And then I can use my edge, the edge of this, and I can go into some of those darker light spots and break it up. And that's how I can even play with the fur down here and not have it be so perfect. And this is where you go back and forth. And I'm just trying to hit into the dark spots. And then this will break it up, and that's what I did with the bear's fur. So you got to get lines in there to get it going. And so I'm just utilizing the tool's edges. And then I'm going to do a couple down here. And then I could go in and bring some of those back out again a little bit. And it gives me something to work with. And I can be a little bit more free because I'm seeing these lines pop out and then I can hit the tops of them. So what I'm doing is I'm actually looking for the highlight to bring that out, and I'm avoiding the shadow. So I can make fun little, you know, shapes in there. This kind of reminds me of doing a mushroom. on the bottoms of mushrooms. And then I can accent some of these little spots more and pull them out. And it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to play. So for those of you that just showed up, I do have a free lesson in my PanPastel library membership on my website. And it's called Awakening, and it's an eye, and I actually incorporate the gold. I show you you get line art, you get the whole thing to kind of learn how I do this process in a little bit more in depth. And then if you want to go real in depth, I have these amazing owls and a bird and a mushroom, and it's called Simply Magic. And inside the PanPastel library is a $10 off coupon. So I'm going to post real quick and grab a drink of water, the PanPastel library link. And then if you want to sign up for that, it's completely free. You do get on my newsletter, but there's nothing wrong with that because you won't miss anything. And there's that. And then I also want to send you guys the link, since I'm right here, for the Merry Artist. So you can check out my... I don't have all the new erasers on there, guys. So you have to go look at... I'll list them down below when I'm here, but here's the 10% off the Merry Artist. They are so fast, you guys. I meant to tell you, but they shipped my PanPastels the best I've ever been shipped before. I did a huge order with them just recently, and they actually individually padded them and taped them, and it was so quick, the shipping. They have an amazing shipping. They actually ship out like next day. And I could not believe how well packaged all my supplies were. So I'm really digging this company. And yeah, so there's a free PanPastel library and the 10% on that. And then let's see, what are you guys talking about here? Oh, you just did the eye and it was fun and it actually turned out pretty good. And I have signed up for the class with the owls, but haven't started yet. Awesome, Pam. Yeah, the eye is really fun. I had it... I put it away, but I had it. I took it out of my journal that I had it in, but it's really fun. Oh, good, Deanna. I'm so glad you're working with Simply Magic. It is my top seller class. Like that's probably the class I've sold the most of because it's just a great intro to PanPastel, and it's fun. It's a different technique than my color, but it's a lot of fun. I bought from Merry Artist, and it was quick. Yeah, and good pricing. They have great, they're probably the best prices for PanPastel that I've found without even being on sale. And you get an additional 10%. So I definitely, and they're nice, really nice people. Okay. So I feel like I'm doing, I feel like the fox is kind of getting, you know, on its way. So I'm going to go pop in some darks here. I can't believe it's $249. That's just not allowed. So I think I'm going to bring up this chin here just a little bit. A little bit goes a long way with the fox. And the brightest point on here is right here. So you see how I've left some so the brightest point can be here popped out, and also usually above the eyes are pretty bright. And this is where I can take that, we get to use our kneaded eraser. I don't have this on my favorite list yet, but they do carry them. They're the Faber-Castell kneaded eraser. I've had pretty good experience with almost any of the kneaded eraser. So to bury the PanPastel, I stretch it out, and that gets rid of the pastel that's already on there. And then I'm going to pull out. I have all that pattern in there and I curve the back just so it doesn't get too rough. And then I can even put it in almost like a little taco, right? We're having tacos, eraser tacos. And then I can use it to pull out highlights in areas as a mass, as a group. And I'm going to do it around here. And then I can accent that shadow a little bit and even bring it in a little bit more. So you can see how I can bring a lot more out, and it unifies the piece and those planes that I'm working with. Wouldn't mind this being a little whiter because it's actually white. So I'm still using that kneaded eraser and I'm pulling things out from it. And I can also add a little bit of, you know, going over this ear right there. His little nose. And it still keeps that pattern. You see how that pattern's still in there. Top of his head. And it gets rid of it being so dominant and you still get that texture. So I'm going to leave that right now until I do the rest of the fox to see what I might want to adjust, if anything. I'm feeling pretty good about his face. I'm liking that. Okay, so now I can work with a little bit of the rest of the body. So I'm going to catch up on chat here. Well, life needs goofiness. Well, I am definitely there. I love being goofy. I am not shy in that department. I am Jennifer. I identify as goof. I love that. Oh, good. I hope you'll post that on Facebook. That would be awesome. I just did that. I was working with Simply. Oh, goof. I don't mind if you're calling me a goof. If that's who you're calling a goof, I don't mind that at all. I love being goofy. Life needs to be lighter, not taken so seriously, right? And now we got our floof on. Now Stacy wants tacos. Note to self, do not watch DVS videos without food. At least snacks are required. Oh, and Temple's on her veggies. Okay, so I'm going to go and do this now, and you're going to see the technique repeat here. And if you have like a fox that you like and stuff, what I normally just try to go by is getting their fur direction right. So if there is certain things, like if this is flipping up, and I know that in the fox, then I'll accent that here. I actually want these to look a little segmented. I'm digging this. It makes it a little whimsical for me, and I like that. And then in the chest, we got a little bit of different range here. See, so we can make it look like it's going the way it's. And I sometimes have to rotate this eraser, and I sometimes have to take off the white on it, you know, the tip of it. Okay, so I got this little scallop thing going on. And I've done this throughout all of them. I'm going to try to do it here. I don't think this little spot right there, I'm just going to play with that and try to cover it up and bring out a little bit of that because it is a little bit of a damaged paper. But when I seal it and when, you know, when I do the finishing on it, I'll be able to play around with that and fix it. And so I also have a video in the details below that show how I only do this for my black PanPastel only, but I can mount and seal it to wood. And I've showed in video 1 some examples of a piece that I've done that to. I frame all of my colored pastel. This is only for black PanPastel because I'm treating it a lot like charcoal. I feel like I did, yeah, the scallops here, it's just a little buried. And then I have this little brush. It's just like a boar brush, and I can wipe all this off. So you can see how durable it is. It's stuck on that paper. And this is just mixed media paper, and I have that listed below. So I'm going to go and play with some of this lines here. I'm at a weird angle, so I don't know how I'm going to continue that right there, but I'm going to just play and see what happens. So I have to rotate this and clean off the thing, and I'm not trying to be necessarily perfect. And then I'm going to do the same little scallop to this. Yeah, this tool is, it does a lot of heavy lifting. When I discovered this tool, I was literally just jumping out of my skin excited. And I think I have it down here. Let me see real quick. I have the larger ones, and I've never really felt like they were, let's see, I have this one. And I don't even know why I don't have it pulled out because I could probably use it for some of these moments. So I have this one that I found, and it's a little bit bigger. But I really don't like using these hard erasers. Aren't as, you know, this one works too. This is a tough something stick. I don't know. It's just something I've had forever. But I also have the 1/4 inch one or 1/8 inch ones, and they, this has been my favorite by far. And I like to doodle, and I like to have, you know, these little patterns in here, so. I want to do a little shout out to Michelle if you come and watch the replay. She says she's been watching the replays. And just want to say hi. I don't know if you're going to make it here today. And then I'm going to go and do this. And I like this, how it's contradicting of the way the other flow is going. If I get on that edge, it really does a really fine line. So I'm doing this kind of, you know, realism of the fur, but also a whimsy, illustrative kind of vibe that, you know, I just get when I draw. Trying to think for this little line here. The hind leg, I think I'm going to go up like this. And this one, I might go this way. It's a little tricky right here. I mean, it's all kind of scooping around. So I'm going to go like that. I'll try this. I'm just going to go do these little lines this way for the legs. And then maybe I'm just going to go, I don't really want, well, I'll do this one really light. And then I have, this is the back leg here. Let's see. Because this one goes out, and that goes to this leg. I think I'm just going to make it go all the way. Who's going to know? I'm the artist. I'm the boss. That could be a little gray area there. So you can see how I've put all that whimsy in. And now I get to, you know, play around with that and tone it down, I would say, if I would use the word. Gosh, you guys, I don't know if I'm going to get the deer, I mean the stag and the owl done in one day. We'll just see how it goes. I can't believe what time it is already. So now I can go put in those darks a little bit and blur this out. Like, I didn't really know what I wanted to do there, but it doesn't really matter because it's just pushed it back in a general way. So now I can go over this mark making and accent some of the things that I want to bring out. And a lot of times it's the edges of where it meets. See? I like accenting those scallops a little bit. Got this little shadow in here on the leg. We can tone down this. And I don't really want that much attention on the legs there. So you can still see all the changes there. I mean, the doodles, and you know, the more I do the rest of the piece, you know, he's got a lot more doodles than the rest. So if I'm sitting here kind of, I'm going to grab a drink of water. And there's nothing wrong with that. At least I'm saying there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe, you know, during a piece I realize what I like more, and I kind of like this illustrative look. And I can just tone it down just a little bit. And then what that's going to allow me to do I'm trying to think of I might do the tail real quick. I'm just going to play with the tail. I'm just going to go for it and put some doodles in there. Maybe I'll leave the whiter part. You guys can see okay, I'm not blocking it. Okay. That might be a weird transition there, but whatever. So I'm highlighting this line here because that's separating these two planes. I like that. I might do more of these with more lines like that. That's fun for the fur. I'm enjoying that. So I can tone it down a little bit. And then I get to use the fun, you know, I'm realizing I'm not using the actual solid erasers as much right now. I'm using that pen eraser quite a bit. But, you know, it just depends on what you're working on, what you're digging, right? Okay, so now I've shaped the back of it, and I'm gonna go over some of these spots and bring out the highlight. And see, it's flattened out. You can see that I got enough PanPastel on there where I have to fold it back in. See, so let's see, what do we got going on? Oh, you guys are saying hi to Michelle. Hi, Michelle, wherever you are. She's sleeping. She's in Australia, and it's Kez, and hi, Kez. She's usually here from Australia, and yeah, it's early there. It's like 6 in the morning, but sometimes they pop in. Okay, you like the video and join the Creative Collective. Check. Awesome. Nice how the doodle pattern contrasts with the bear fur. Yeah, you know, I think because the bear's got these doodles in there that they'll look related. I think it'll look pretty good. I'll pull back here in just a sec, and I just want to put these a little white highlight here on the edge of its leg, and maybe get a few of the feet. Got the big feet in here while I'm there. There's some nails in there, but I haven't really focused on the nails. I feel like his little feet are pretty far back here, so I'm not gonna bring them out. I've learned with feet, especially owls' feet, because I do a lot of owls, I'll bury their owls 80% of the time. But I would say 90% of the time. I just don't like to mess with their feet. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty good about the fox. I have a few minutes. I think I'm gonna start working on the owl a little bit, and I can come back and play. I think you guys get this, where I'm at with it. It's not totally done, but the point is you guys just being on the journey. Oh, you know, I didn't do the antlers. You know, I might just pull the antlers, and then we can work on the owl next time. So let me All right. The antlers usually don't take that long. So on the antlers, I'm going to do that same pattern, and I'm thinking about the light, and I'll probably go back in and definitely put some dark in there. So with antlers, I'm hitting on both sides, and then I'll probably put dark in the center here. And my reasoning for why they all have antlers is because they're the wise counsel and the mystics. They're the guides of the forest. And my brother and I have talked forever, ever since I did my jackalope, about creating one of these pieces. And I honestly don't think he knows unless he's popping in today, brother. He says sometimes he sneaks in and doesn't say hi. And I said, well, why do you do that? And he goes, well, because you tell everyone about me. And well, I love my brother. But yeah, it might still be a surprise. I know his wife saw a post and liked it, but I don't think she read it. So it'll be interesting to see if he ends up knowing about it when I give it to him. I was like, the only way I'm going to get this done is doing it live. I mean, this is a pretty big piece. And of course I went big. It's like, go all in. I just went all in on it. Because it's inspiring me, even though I'm going to be giving it to him. So this might be inspiration for my big door project downstairs that I could live stream, which could be fun. I just got to figure out how do I get the live streaming down there, because it's a big door. Okay, I'm going to tap the tips of these guys. No, I'll try to film his reaction. I don't know if I'll be able to share it or not. I'm glad you guys are here. Yeah, this is for my brother, Jennifer. He's turning 40 this month. We have 11 years difference, and I'm older. And he has always talked about having all these animals with antlers. And so I have made this up as a gift for him on his 40th birthday. And we're going to go visit him. He lives about 4 hours away. Okay. So I feel like I got at least the pattern in there. They're looking pretty good. I got them separated from the bear, and I can separate them a little bit more. And now I'm going to just take my wand and just tap in a couple of these spots that could be darker. You know, usually the where they swoop, they're a little bit darker. Or they're brighter. I'm making them darker. And I kind of got that texture in there too. That feels really good. I'm losing his ear. I might pull his ear up a bit, even though it's behind in the shadows. I don't want to lose his ear. I'm going to bring up that too. I'm using the real side of this because I can get these little tiny wisps. I have to rotate it though. I feel like I'm having a hard time getting that spark of life in there. I don't want it too big. That's feeling a little bit better. Yeah, I'll take a picture. Oh, thank you, Francine. You know, honestly, the way I'm thinking of it is that I am breaking it down into small little paintings. So each one, every time you're here, I just did another painting. I'm not thinking of it as a whole as much. And that helps. So I'll probably do a little bit of cleaning up. We have a few minutes here. I might just go and start on the owl. I mean, it's amazing how much you can get done in a few minutes. So let me just take a minute and shift gears. I'm so grateful to be able to be here with all you guys and that you're here with me. I love doing this. This is my highlight of my week. Is I found that my husband's like, Dawn, it's like the happiest I've ever seen you. And I just really enjoy doing this with you all. Okay, so I'm gonna play with this owl here. I gotta get him in frame. And I'm gonna just move this over. Boy, this sure is wonky over here, you guys. You're so patient with whatever on that camera. Okay, so I'm gonna bring him down. We'll keep his antlers in the frame. Oh! I almost bipped my thing. Okay. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Yeah. You guys do support me 100,000%. I honestly don't think I'd be doing this if I didn't feel supported. Like, the community is the best part about all of this. And that's why I went community forward. This isn't really about a lesson or a class. It's about sharing inside peek to my process, what I'm working on. I mean, you are in my real live. I'd be doing this for my brother if it wasn't live or not. It's just I don't think if I was doing live, I'd be able to do it without sharing it live because I just don't have the time. So you guys are amazing. Thank you, Francine. Kim, good to tell her he sees your joy like that. He's a keeper. He is. I've been married to him for over 26 years. He's my best friend. And he has helped me be on this journey through having kids and all of that. He has supported my creativity, and I can't thank him enough. So I'm just going to play with this guy and get him up to a spot where I'm happier with him. I think I'm going to go a little darker on this part and then bring it up with the pattern and then actually bring out the whites, because this is actually kind of darker on an owl. This little highlights on the front are whiter. I'm going to make the around his face a little floofy. Like this is going to be all fluff. And this little dark line around here. So what I'll do is let's see, I'll work on getting this eyes in. So when I knocked everything down, it's a little wonky on this side, but you know what? His eyes aren't perfect. I mean, I'm looking at it. They're a little off right there. Let me see if I can fix it. I mean, there's not being perfection, and then there's just a little bit of that is a little off. So I'm going to stand in front here a second and get this even. I'm going to have to play with that. And then, because the charcoal isn't forgiving, so your drawing has to be a little bit spot on or you have nothing to work with. It's hard to get rid of the charcoal is my point. And this guy's small, so I gotta, I'm gonna see. One eye is bigger than the other. You know what? So be it to a certain extent here. I think I got it pretty good. And now I can put in I like to try to leave some of the white there because it's a little challenging sometimes to bring it back for the little fleck in the eye. Oh, he's kind of looking a little serious right now. It's got a little like eyebrow there, so I'm gonna have to play with that. It's not really defined. So it'll come together. And then this spot around, Francine, I'm so glad you were able to make it here today. I know you're getting pretty busy with all your, I think you're a horse trainer. Am I right on that? Do you teach people how to ride too? I'm sure you probably do all of it. Okay, so that's a little dramatic, but we got to get dramatic before we get, and then they usually have a dark around too. So we're gonna have to play with these eyes a bit and get them. Ooh, I shrunk that one a little bit. So this is tiny, folks. I'll have to play with this. Yeah, I might just make the pupil bigger. That's not too bad. Okay. And then up here, usually these little tufts are pretty dark. And then I'll bring those out. I think I'm going to do the same type of pattern work, but they have a lot of, you know, like the little scallops. I'm going to make those white. And then these a little bit darker around. Yeah, I might just do the whole thing a little bit. Be brave. I'm being brave. Sometimes you get where you're like, how am I going to pull that pattern out? And you got to just go over the whole thing. I know the chest in there is white, so I also got that. So I got to get that value of where I want those darks the most. There's a shadow here. Trainer and instructor, that's what I thought. Laura, welcome. You're late to the party. Your 10th-month-old refrigerator conked out, and you've been on the phone with the company. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm so glad you made it, though, and said hi. Thanks for coming in and saying hi. You told yourself, be brave. It's so nice to hear you convince yourself to go for it. You know you can fix whatever happens. I'm still in the freak out mode of, oh, shit, crumble and toss. You know, the cool thing about this process, you guys, is it's really hard to mess it up. I mean, you've seen how many changes I can make. I mean, I did a whole eraser. For those of you who just popped in later, I did a whole testing of erasers out because Mary Artist were so kind and sent me a whole stack of different erasers to try out. And I was really surprised with which ones I ended up liking because they weren't the ones that I picked initially. So You guys will have to watch that if you missed it. Okay. So he's looking, they always look a little messy before they look like they've, you know, before they look good. And you got to have a little bit of value in here, you know, at least a 4 or 5, you know, to be able to do much with it. But you still have to be gentle when you're going in here, because I think it's really easy to lose some of the subtleties. And I don't want to knock off all of that, all of the black charcoal pencil that I put into the details, because it's a little bit more fragile. Okay. We're at 327. I'm going to pull this guy up a bit, no matter what time it is. Oh, this is fun. So you see how I had to go dark to be able to have the contrast for these eyes to even have something to work with. That is such a subtle little moment. I don't have to have it be so dramatic. This might be a little challenging. Oh, I'm putting a test to this eraser, guys. I'm using those edges, I'm twisting it. Mono 0 for the win. I just want this pattern in there. And then the cool thing with owls, I buried it a little much, but I'm going to go right here, and then I'm going to push down hard right here by the eye. This is usually pretty white. And then I have this bristle, and I have to be careful. I don't want to wipe off all my charcoal, because the charcoal is not as stable as the other stuff. If I pat it down a little bit. Okay. And then I got to put a little bit in this beak. I went over a little far on that side, so I'm going to have to play with the beak and get it back. So I think that gives a little look that there's little tufts coming off of them. And then I have these little ears I'm going to try to bring in with some pattern. I'm just, you know, swooping. And then I can go back and forth here and color them in a little bit. I'll be playing with those ears because I don't know exactly how I want those to look. And then we have our little horns, little antlers. I don't know if you guys can hear all that lawn mowing outside. It's like all kinds of people doing lawn work. So you can see how he's coming alive. Oh, I think he's cute. Oh. Thank you, Stacy. I know, right? Shh. Time. It's still in warranty. They're sending out a tech. Oh, I'm so sorry about your fridge. I noticed that about the charcoal. I outlined my bird mushroom with it before I realized that you had not done that in your instructions. It has some staying. Yeah, it really does have staying power. Well, I'm glad that, I don't even know if you guys can hear it. Can you guys even hear it? You guys are so sweet to each other. Okay, I'm thinking about finishing the owl. I'm just gonna play with the owl and get him. I'm just putting subtle little marks in there because it's too tiny. Sometimes when you draw something, you're thinking, oh, it's going to be no problem, and then you're like, oh, that's a little bit more than... So I'm just highlighting my little doodles. I'm just ad-libbing here because I'm liking the pattern. They have that pattern there, so I'm just doing my own thing. And I don't think I'm going to bring out the feet that much because I do not like to do feet. I mean, you can basically just sketch with this eraser. It's quite fascinating. So I'm just carrying that pattern and making it a little bit looser. And then I have the feathers. I made those different direction because I wanted them to be different. And then I'm just gonna put a little bit more of that around. Once I get going, it's like, I can't stop in the middle of the owl. It'll just be a couple more minutes. It's a happy little owl. Is it making you happy? It's making me happy. So then I could go and I might even use my, I know I like to use the tip of that, but I have this little applicator and I'm going to go on the edge and maybe highlight some of those really dark spots on here. And it's more because I'm at a weird angle. That big tool is a little hard for me to do this to. So owls really have this like black and white drama in their chest. So I'm just accenting that, going into the shadow here. Because we put our marks in and then we get to go and accent some of them. And it becomes a little more painterly. Well, I'm so glad you guys are here with me while I'm doing this owl, that I stuck with it, because I was like, I'm going to put a shadow here. So I'm just trying to ground the owl. I mean, I guess his shadow, if it's coming down, would be this way. We got a little bit of shadow going both ways. He's a big owl. I'll play with that. Because we got the moon. We didn't do the moon today. We'll do the moon on Thursday. And then I can, you know, loosen things up by going back and forth here. So now that I have that, we get to use this wonderful little tool to bring him up. And this is the kneaded eraser. Oh, Stacy gets to stay. You called and canceled your appointment so I can stay the whole time. What appointment did you cancel, you silly? Oh, that's so sweet. You are so sweet. Oh, it's a childhood memory now because you don't have lawns in the desert. Oh, thank you, Loretta. Yeah, this is a horned owl. We are going all in, Paula. Yeah, knock on wood. I'm knocking on wood. I only got particle board. Here, I got wood over here. I'm knocking on. I've had that happen. We don't want that. Okay, owl equals favorite part is the V between the eyes and makes them seem so wise. Well, thank you. Yeah, I do like moody owls. We have 2 barred owls that hang out in the big cottonwood tree in our backyard. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Okay, you guys ready? I'm going to bring out the highlights in them. So I got my kneaded eraser all nice and shaped. And then I'm going to pull out some of the highlights. And this is where we're working with planes, remember. So this owl chest is closer to us than the rest of his body. And plus it's white too. So I'm pulling up the chest. And there are white parts around him. And so I'm pulling up some of those. Oh, this is making me happy. This is the happy part. And then I can even bring out some of this on the forehead. Right there. See how that did that? It's subtle. And, you know, his eyes a little wonky still, but we're going to fix those. I'm just using this little edge. And this is where that pattern actually stays, so it's still kind of there. You see that? Ooh, I like that. Okay, and then I'm actually just kind of reshaping this in weird shapes so I can do what I want where I want. So now you can see how they've actually married, you know, unified, a better word, all of those spots. And I'm not going to play with his feet. I don't need to bring attention to his feet. You guys know how I feel about feet. I'm going to take up some of the shadow a little bit. And then I can put it back by wiping off my wand and then just, you know, making it a little bit less dramatic. Okay. All right. I'm gonna bring, come out with it now, but I'm pretty happy with them. I mean, I'll probably go out later and bring some of these, you know, make this little dark, you know, where it's touching onto the stag. I can even put some of these lines in here a little bit darker. But I think you can see that. Okay, we want to get the big picture without it being skewed like this other camera. Maybe I'll get another one. Got a little gnat in here. It's like attacking me. Okay. So I feel like they are coming together quite nicely. I hope you feel the same. There we go. Oh, one of them's just like, I'm ready. You know, this one, it'll be so much fun to bring it together. I'm gonna check chat here real quick. Thank you, Laura. I hope he does. Thank you, Stacy. I would love to have some owls. I feel like we have some around, but I've never seen them. Oh, wow, Temple. I'm so glad you're able to see him. I get excited when the light and stuff goes. It's so much fun. Oh, I'm glad the eyes follow you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, this is fun. I'm excited. I can't wait to give this as a gift. It's probably the biggest gift I've ever given, except for my own husband, which I painted a full color owl. It's for his office. So this is definitely one of the biggest pieces I have created to give somebody. So my brother couldn't be he's a great recipient. He has art that I'm like, why do you still have that? He's like, I like it. So hopefully this will be a new piece. Oh, Sunny, you want to say hi before we go? Keep coughing. Oh, you good? You good? All right, you guys. Sunny and I, we're gonna sign off here. And you saying hi? He hates the camera, guys. He knows when there's a camera on him. You want to go get like a treat of like some chicken or something? Normally his ears will go up if I say treat. So he's like, no. All right, well, you guys have a great one. And oh, I'll try to show you his owl. And I am so glad that you guys are joining me here on this journey. I can't wait to see you on Thursday. It's free if you want to like the video and give me a comment. I always try to go back and answer all the comments, and it really helps the engagement on my YouTube channel. So I look forward to seeing you guys. I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you real soon. All right, bye-bye. You got the coughs, huh? Here, let's put you down. Sunny knows that tone. He's like, oh, you're all done, I can tell. All right, bye, you guys.